Right, come look at these then, Tom. Okay, so we've got your driver setup, and then we'll talk about your short game as well. So we're going to look at both in terms of this thing. So the left-hand one here now was your previous driver. Again, not a bad setup. I had a tendency to get a little bit too much lean on that right side. I want to be leaning on the right side, but someone's got a bit extreme. These circles around your head now are going to kind of really showcase where you were going. So the left-hand one now, as you went back, you're moving out of that circle quite a bit there. And then from here now, back to that golf ball. You were left of that circle and above it when you came back. So there's a lot, I mean, you start off in the circle and kind of were out of it, then came back and then back. And so, and again, you almost got to get that head back in that spot consistently to hit good shots. If you're in a different position each time, the consistency of strike is going to be all over the place. Okay, so this right-hand one now as you go back, okay? So a nice rotation there. Most of your head in that circle is actually smaller, to be fair. So the fact you're most of your face in that circle there. Now as you unwind, head staying back in that circle. Very good, And you're getting that sensation. It's a turn, shoulder coming a bit under. So doing those drills, you said that club across your chest with the club way out there, set up there, and almost like you're trying to hit a golf ball now with that club. Get the sensation. That's going to help your head stay behind the ball. But you had to go from when you were over here. You had to do that, otherwise you'd miss the ball, to be fair. It's getting that consistency. When you finish this swing now, this just looks a lot more consistent in terms of your body movement there. Whereas this one here now, it's kind of like I mean, you're quite a long way kind of sight, and that's where you can see consistency. Strike is going to be all over the place. Okay, that's your long game with the drivers and stuff. Short game now. Look at the short game family. This shot here on the left was basically your first pitch shot to try and go 50 yards. Now, if we look at the difference, if I ask that same question, which is the short shot? I know for a fact, very confidently, you could pick out the one that's going to be the short game shot. Okay, so because of this full setup now, as you see the golf club back, you've got to try and judge the distance. And in this case, you didn't judge it very well. So you came back to the golf ball, made a full swing, struck it all right, nice good swing, and it went like 90 yards. Then the next one, you went back similar sort of yardage and try to slow it down. Now, if you try and slow it down too much, hit the ground behind the golf ball. And then you end up mishitting it or thinning it or whatever. Okay, so shrinking up the feet there. The line we good. Shrinking up the feet there, making it a bit narrower. So you have sort of like 2, 3, 1 width of length of stance with that club head. So 1, 2, and 3. I think we sort of established this length here, sort of like your 2 club head width apart, and a sort of full backswing now that you could comfortably make gave you 56 yards. You couldn't really go back any further than that, because if you did, you'd fall over. Your knees being so close together now, once you start doing, you're like, well, hang on a second. So you kind of go back to where you can comfortably go. There's no thought about how far back. You just go back to where you feel that's fine. Then you can swing through. Nice strike of the golf ball, and we can let the arms release through here. So at the start, you're doing sort of some of these drills here, you'll see where you're just letting the arms sort of do this, you see, nice and loose, let that club swing and hinge and get that club head moving. The torso moves. This is kind of a little soft chip shot. You could do this with a small little chip shot, but your body's constantly moving there, The second the body stops moving, or the head stays down, or the left arm locks out, you flick your wrist, you thin it, and then you see a flick of the club and go, oh, that's bad, I got to stop flicking it. The flicking's not the problem. It's the fact the body's not moving. As long as the body keeps moving, you can play it very, very nice, okay? So pressure into that left foot, staying on that left foot. I mean, strike on there is perfect, Hands have got a nice amount of shaft lean without thinking about trying to get shaft lean, okay? And then we can turn the torso through now, nice and relaxed, arms up on that left shoulder. Whereas this one here now, sort of just too much of a bigger, fuller swing, trying to slow it down, but it's just the information's been given to the golf ball, okay? So a couple of things to work on, obviously, with the driver setup. Setup's not quite so far back, and then maybe staying more inside that circle, not sort of swaying here. Once you sway less, you're able to sort of stay in that same spot, so your body's kind of moving and rotating correctly, not rocking side to side. And then from the short game position, obviously a difference. I think this would probably be a setup up to about 75 yards, maybe 100 with your wedge. If you sort of had 3 club head width feet here, 1, 2, 3, I reckon you get a wedge 80, 90 yards probably. That's just, you just trial and just hit a few shots to see what you can comfortably do, And once you sort of dial those numbers in, get 50, 75, whatever, 95 dialed in well, then you can kind of feel yourself around the golf course to how it's going to be for the numbers you've got. Okay, mate, makes sense?
Cool.
Good stuff.